In 1956, I lived in Budapest. I was working for the Central Research Institute of Physics. My wife died in May that year in a traffic accident. My son, who was 4-year-old, I transferred him to my parents, who lived south of Lake Balaton in southwest Hungary. It was decided that the Prime Minister is going to make a big speech from the balcony of the Parliament. So a lot of people came to the Parliament Square to listen to the Prime Minister. As we gathered there was shooting started. And I tell you, it is a very interesting experience when they are shooting at you. After the first second, you get really, really frightened. I mean, you're really frightened. And it takes a couple of minutes to decide to run and which way to run. A lot of people were dying, a lot of people were running, a lot of people were just shot and not dying, and being shot is probably worse than just dying, because you fall down, you suffer, you try to get out of the range of the shooting, but when you're shot, it's very difficult to get out of the range of the shooting. I, fortunately, was not shot. Hungarian citizens were armed at the castle. As a matter of fact, they were armed all over Budapest. And the way to get armed is you walk into any barracks, and there were several barracks in the city. And the soldiers gave arms to those who went in and wanted to arm themselves. The soldiers themselves refused to fight, but they supported the fight. The Russian tanks were trying to take over the castle. We were trying to prevent that. That's why we were pouring oil down the slopes so that the tanks were sliding backwards instead of forward. Of course, they didn't like the oil, so they started shooting. And there was fighting, and as a result of fighting, I lost my ID card. So I was there without my ID card. And without my ID card, it was a good reason, one of the good reasons, to leave the country. I decided to leave Hungary for different reasons. One of them is because I lost my ID papers. Second, and more important, is because I didn't want my son to grow up in a communist country. When my parents brought George to Budapest, we boarded a train to Vienna. On the train ride towards Vienna, I decided that we are going to stop and get off the train because I've heard that there are many Russian soldiers in the Viennese railway station. We planned to cross the Hungarian border from Bősárkány in Hungary to Endau in Austria. We arrived to Bősárkány in the evening, and we were planning to pass the bridge in the morning. However, when we woke up in the morning, we found that the Russians blew up the bridge. We walked about 4 miles to the next village towards the border. That section of the border was guarded by Hungarian soldiers, and it was usual to hire some of them to guide you through the border. That night, it was about 6 hours to reach the border, walking in cold, frozen ground, carrying George, each of us, including the soldiers. When we got to the border, we thanked the soldiers to bring us here. They pointed us blindly which way Andau is, and then we parted and we started to walk towards Andau. After a couple of 100 yards, we met a car. It was the Andau doctor's car. He used to go every night out to the border to pick up women and children to help to Andau. The women and George went in the car with the doctor to Andau, and the rest of us were walking almost an hour to Andau. When we got to Andau, I was told that the Red Cross station is in the school. I went to the school, and in one of the rooms, I found George sitting on the top of the teacher's chair with a banana in one hand and chocolate in the other hand. It was a very cold winter, and the Austrian soldiers were sleeping in tents so that the Hungarian refugees could sleep in their barracks. Every day, people from different countries came to interview Hungarians and gave them jobs in their own countries. Yeah, I interviewed in several countries. One of them was Germany, whom I told them, I won't go to Germany, they are too near to Russia. But I finally I got a job in England, Cambridge, and that's where we went to with George. Yeah, in England I met a German girl whom I married, and we came together to the United States, and that's where we had 2 children. All right, I never thought I am going to live in the United States and have successful jobs here and a successful family.